Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Fiscal Court meeting. Certainly glad to see everyone here. We got some business to take care of today. It could be a little bit lengthy, so I want to be excused. I got to step out a little early, but certainly glad to see everyone here. I've asked Mr. Strunk to lead us in the pledge, but first of all, we'll do a moment of silence. And anyone have any concerns in the community or individuals? Any thoughts, comments?
I just want to say, just be with your family in their time of need.
Thanks. Anyone else? Hearing no one else, we'll pause for a moment of silence, and then Mr. Strunk will lead us in the pledge. Thank you. Everyone, please stand. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business would be to approve the minutes of April 23rd meeting. They are there before you. If you want to take a moment to review those, see if there's any changes or comments.
Motion to approval.
Mr. Strunk makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wilson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item of business would be Mr. T.J. Adkins from the Pulaski County Extension Office. What we're presented with today is a contract we're doing. He can probably explain a little bit better to us, but
I don't know if I can or not.
we got an employee at the Extension Office. We haven't had a contract since 2016.
Okay. So basically what we're kind of discussing is a memorandum of agreement that has actually been in place between the county government and the Extension Office for probably about 20 plus years. It provides a little bit of contract labor, contract services to us. The main one that we are looking at, as you all see there in front of you, is for a cleaning service. The Pulaski County Extension Office, basically, you all hire the employee and then we pay for the employee. So we cover all expenses that is accrued by this employee, hourly wages, insurance, FICA, everything like that. I can't speak on why this was put into place 20 plus years ago. I just know that it's in place and it works wonderful. It's a great agreement between the two entities, and we would really appreciate it to be able to continue this agreement. One of the things that we are asking, so it has changed a little bit, but one of the things that we are asking is to take it from a 16 hours to 24 hours for the time being. We have got a couple of employees that are having some health issues and things like that, and we need a little help on the front desk as people come in, being able to greet and kind of help get people pointed in the right direction. So we are asking to continue the service with Ms. Davis as far as the cleaning duties and those things like that, but we are asking to take it from 16 hours to 24 hours to allow us to use her 1 to 2 days a week to kind of help in that reception spot until our other support staff can come back and fill the needs in that spot again. The foreseeable future, we don't really know how long that employee is going to be out on medical leave. But it is something that we kind of have wrote up in here that we can go back and forth as we need. Everything lines up with what you all pay as far as your part-time employees and all of that. And again, even with the extra hours, the Extension Office and the District Board will pick up those costs. So there is no cost to you all or to the county in that aspect. So what we're asking is basically to go ahead and extend the memorandum of agreement for another year. We will revisit it again in April of 25, and then therefore try to revisit it every year. We kind of somehow fell through the cracks and got a little laxed on it. But again, it's something that has been in place for, like I said, I've been there 13 years now, and it was in place long before I got there, and it's an agreement that works very well. And we would really appreciate the ability to continue this memorandum of agreement.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Wheeler makes a motion to approve, and Mr. Strunk seconds. Any other discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes.
Thank you all.
Dave. Next item would be resolution adopting the county road aid program. It is also in your package. We are up just a little bit. It's $2,396,992.92. We're up about $31,000 over last year. It's something that's done annually, and we just have to approve a resolution to accept county road aid agreement.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Renshaw, second by Mr. Turpin. Any discussion? We'll have to call the roll on this one. April, could you call that?
Turpin,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wheeldon,
Yes.
Renshaw,
Yes.
Strunk.
Yes.
Motion passes. Mr. Next item of business will be to open bids. We have all our bids here, bid packages here, and I guess Martin would need to open them in public. It's going to take a while.
Yep, we got a nice little group of them here.
They were advertised in the paper twice, I think, and we had a pretty good reception coming back in with all our annual bids for all materials for the county.
All right, here we go. Floyd, looks like you've paper clipped ones together that go together. Okay. I guess this is for backhoe work, et cetera. It's from MAW Development. Different hourly rates. Those will all be available for review. I won't go over all that now. This one is from Harris Contracting. Again, all of these are going to have lots of different hourly rates for different type of work to be done with bulldozers, excavators, et cetera. This one is from Larry Todd. Looks like it's for plumbing only, $100 per hour. JBC Electric, heat and air service, $80 per hour for HVAC and electrical work. Bill Davis, backhoe and dozer services, different hourly rates for different services. This one is from Bingham Tire of Somerset for different types of tires. Interstate Construction Products. Like that's for rock, I guess. White Oil Company. This is a bid for gasoline. Barnes Cleaning, that's for cleaning for the Judicial Center. Hinkle Contracting for asphalt. This is from, it's for tires, and it's from Bill Morgan Tire. This is also for tires, and it is from Rick Smith Electric and Plumbing. Oh, wait a minute, sorry about that. Oh, he included the entire package back in the, so I would assume he's bidding on electric and plumbing. This is from Roney Plumbing for plumbing services. From Mounts Concrete for concrete work. Tires, nope, concrete work. Taylor Maintenance out of Science Hill. It's got different things here. Looks like mostly related to paving and all that goes along with that. Triple Crown Concrete for concrete services, concrete bids. McGowan Excavating for excavating services. Wilson Equipment Company for work with various items like skid steer loaders, etc. Boyd Cat for equipment work. Weddle Enterprises for heavy equipment hourly work. Hudson Materials Company, a road oil bid. Different rates for different oils. Drainage tiles from Wilson and Roy Construction. Heidelberg Materials, stone bid for stone, crushed the rock. Here's another stone bid from Hinkle Contracting. All right, we're winding down here. This is from JS Environmental. It's a bid for equipment, hourly equipment work. Cumberland Oil Company, a bid for oil and lubricants, etc. E-Step Energy. That's for diesel, oil, diesel, gas. And it looks like the last one. I think this is from Premier AG Environmental Management, as best I can tell. And it looks like it's for gas and diesel. Well, it may be from Southern Petroleum.
It's the same.
Yeah, same company.
So,
All right, that's it.
I need a motion to take these bids to review and a couple of...
Motion to accept all bids for review.
Second.
Mr. Strunk makes a motion to accept all bids for review, and Mr. Renshaw makes a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll take these to review. I need a couple of magistrates that will step up and review these and decide who has the best bid. I like to open these in public. We got a lot of them, and we want to do our bidding process fairly and equally to everyone. We'll move on to the next item would be the first reading of the budget. Chris, our treasurer, is not here today. She had some health issues yesterday and could not make it in today, but I think we have the budget in front of us. We've worked, everyone around this table have worked very hard on this budget. We've included everyone to give us a good idea of where we're going to go. And the total budget this year is, we're down a little bit from where we were last year because we don't have the ARPA funding we had last year. But we're at $43,837,225. We think it's a good budget, something we've got to work with. This will be considered the first reading, and then we'll have to send it to DLG in Frankfurt. They will approve or disapprove or make changes, send it back to us, and then we'll do a second reading sometime early June. And hopefully if they get it back to us by then, we'll do early June and then have final approval on it. Do I have a motion to accept the first reading, or is it necessary?
Motion to accept first reading.
Mr. Strunk makes that motion, and Mr. Wheeldon seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Road addition and removal, I got one road. The paperwork's been filled out on it. It was Alcalde Road. It's been asked that it's been taken out of the county maintenance program. It's, we've got to measure it, got to have a couple of people that have looked at it, I think. And we'll just need a motion for a public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Renshaw makes that motion, and Mr. Strunk seconds. Any more discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving down, Miss Beverly, you asked to be on 911. She wants to give a report this morning. I know it's not on the agenda. We had a couple of items come in late. We have to get this thing to the newspaper last Thursday, so we're on a sort of a deadline, but then we get some stuff that comes in a little bit late and we have to add to it.
I'm just coming before the court this morning to make some clarifications and explain some of the dynamics of Code Red, the system that we have. There's a lot of misinterpretations of what it is, and I just want to try to get that opened up. Code Red is an app or a program that is used to pass along important information to those who have subscribed to it. You can subscribe to it through the government web pages, 911's web page. It's self-explanatory. It's step by step. You put your personal information in there with your name, address, phone number, what you want to be notified about. The 911 Center is the administrator of this in Pulaski County. This means that 911 admin staff, not the dispatchers, set up the accounts for agencies and utilities to access and utilize it. Each agency and authorized business that we work with that uses it decides when and how to pass that information along with their own specifications. This is a great tool for the responders and for the public and the utilities that we work with, the water companies, city gas, and other necessary utilities. It's just to make the public aware of information that needs to be passed along to them. Any and all of the weather information that is relayed through the Code Red system comes from the National Weather Service. It does not come from Pulaski County 911. We're not weather people. They use the information that you provide when you sign up, mostly your address, and they send out the notification to the geographical area that is to be affected. A lot of people are upset because they're not getting a notification, or they are getting a notification. That's not on 911. That's the weather. It's set up with your geological area. I would really like for people to understand that, because we get so many calls to 911. I didn't get a call. I did get a call. I should have got a call. We have no control of the National Weather Service. This is the app that works with it. I really want to say that 911 does not send these messages out. Each agency, the Sheriff's Department, the City Police, they all decide when and what information to give out. We are only the administrator of it to make sure that everything goes as it's supposed to, as far as your subscription to it. During the previous fiscal court administration, this is where the misconception comes in, that 911 does all of this. The emergency manager was also the 911 director. I am not the emergency manager.
You should be.
No, I shouldn't be. Mr. Franklin is the emergency manager. It's up to him to decide what he wants to be sent out. He has that authority also. We have the ability to send it out, but only under very extenuating circumstances do we take that, because my 911 dispatchers are answering everyday emergency calls. And when people are calling 911 to complain that the system didn't do what they thought it was going to do, they're taking time away from an emergency that is coming in, and we've got to help your grandma, we've got to help your brother, it's really an influx of calls of people complaining that 911 has nothing to do with. I just really wanted to come up here and stress that today. The misconceptions were there. In my opinion, and Mr. Franklin agrees with me, less is more. We cannot send out messages of watches, good grief. We have watches weekly. We'll be under watches tomorrow with the weather that's coming in. I need people to understand, if they get a Code Red alert, to pay attention to it, because it is something from the National Weather Service, not from 911. If the Sheriff's Department decides that a runaway needs to have information put in on this Code Red system, they put the information in. They disseminate it to the area that they want to be aware of the runaway. It's not 911. I really needed to come up here and say that today, because we've really taken a whole lot of heat for this. And it's a great system, and I think we should keep using it. But I need people in the public to understand how it's used. We just do not disseminate from the Code Red system. We take information, and the calls will tell you, if you see this person, contact 911. Absolutely contact 911. Let us know. We're working with that agency, but we didn't send that message out. And the weather is a big thing right now because it's crazy. But less is more. We don't think you should be using watches as a notification. Everybody needs to be weather aware. Everybody needs to be weather aware. Spring comes every year. If anybody's got any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them.
I'm sorry. I do have one. These golden alerts from Louisville and stuff like that, is there any way to manage those things that we get at 3 o'clock in the morning?
We have nothing to do with those either. Those are
Is
something
that
with
an
your phone
emergency
carrier.
management? I'm not talking about 911. I'm talking to emergency.
Yeah, I don't know how a code red alert from Louisville is affecting us unless at some time you were signed up there, because like Beverly said, these are given by geographic area. If you're within that area, or if you have a cell phone that you have signed up for, you're going to get those alerts until you cancel that. I don't have an answer for that, Mark.
Yeah.
I would think that there's something that has linked that phone to that jurisdiction that has set that out, but
Okay.
that's the only answer I have right now.
And one other just comment. There is one warning or one watch that I would love for us to broadcast, and that is the tornado watch. You watch all these videos of all these tornadoes the last couple of weeks. It doesn't hurt to have the tornado watches broadcast so everybody is aware of that situation. I mean, by the time we get the phone calls and stuff like that, some of these phone calls are an hour apart. It's not all at one time from what I've been hearing. Some of them saying, well, you know, I got this a half an hour after the storm already went through. So to me, tornado watches is very important as a watch. Thunderstorms and stuff, but tornado warning, just watch the videos that came out over the last 2 weeks and you'll understand why and what happens. It's very destructive. It's not like, so I would love for you to consider doing tornado watches.
Well, Beverly and I have talked about that, and I have to agree with what you said, less is more, because, and a prime example of this would be the Amber Alert. Kentucky State Police are the ones that handle Amber Alert. There is a very stringent criteria before they will send out an Amber Alert. And as a result of that, if I'm not mistaken, or things have changed since I last looked at this, the Amber Alerts in Kentucky have a 100% success ratio because they're not overused. If we do it too much, and this was the thinking behind KSP, is if every child that gets lost is considered an Amber Alert, people are going to start hearing it so much that they don't pay attention to it. And the same thing is going to be true with the code red or the weather warnings. A warning simply means conditions are favorable. There's no need to be alarmed, but you need to prepare. And some of these, the watches that we have are hours long, so how often are we going to set it off? I mean, there's a lot of other things that are involved in that.
Just one time at the beginning of the watch. I mean, I understand about that, but to me, a tornado watch means that it's I mean, they don't put those out for nothing. And it just makes more people aware that they might not, these days, not a lot of people watch the news or anything like that. So a lot of people don't know this weather is, I know I put it on Facebook and stuff like that. I'm just saying consider it. That's all I'm asking.
Well, we can talk about it.
This is where I would insert myself and say everybody needs to get a NOAA weather radio.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to. They're cheap. They're inexpensive. You can use batteries.
They're effective.
And they're very effective. They're not the tornado sirens that are designed to be heard outside, not while you're inside. The NOAA weather radio is something every household in this county should look at because it does give you the watches.
Yeah, and there's a number of cell phone apps
Absolutely.
that will outline the specific area where the watch is. And, you know, we go back to the premise that I try to take is taking care of yourself and your family, take care of your neighbors, take care of your community. And part of taking care of ourselves is being weather aware, being fire aware, being everything, you know, be aware of your surroundings. What could happen? It's cloudy. What could that bring? You know, but I understand what you're saying, Mark, but again, if it's overused, people quit paying attention to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's enough.
Anybody have anything?
Thank y'all.
else? Thank you all. Thanks.
The next item would be, Anthony, I've got a paper that just was distributed to me just a few minutes ago. And I'm gonna excuse myself, I've got to step out.
Back several months ago, I had brought before you all a grant application with the Department of Local Government to buy video arraignment equipment. When the county treasurer submitted the minutes to DLG for reimbursement, they didn't want the minutes. They wanted us to do a resolution before the court. So the resolution says adoption of a resolution of the Pulaski Fiscal Court authorizing the filing of Kentucky House Bill 1 Jail Arraignment Equipment Phase 1 and 2 grant application for $80,613 in House Bill project funds with the Department of Local Government, authorizing and directing the Pulaski County Judge Executive to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by the Department of Local Government to carry out this project, and also authorizing the County Judge Executive to act as the authorized correspondent for this project. So I'm presenting this resolution to you all in order to submit back to the Department of Local Government to get our funds.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ranshaw, second by Turpin. Any other discussion?
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to you, Amber.
Good morning. Already lost the female seasonal I hired due to medical reasons, but I would like to ask to hire 2 more. The first one is Penny Strom.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Wheeldon, second by Turpin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
And the
Motion
second one,
carries.
Sarah Coomer.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Wheeldon, second by Ranshaw. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
When was you wanting them to start? As soon as possible?
As soon as possible, pending pre-employment screening.
Bring us to the road department, 3,000 ton of rock.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Strunk, second by Ranshaw. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Rest of the road list,
There's a speed limit on
you got a speed limit.
it.
Whispering Oaks, speed limit, 4th District.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Turpin, second by Strunk. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now the rest of the road list.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ranshaw, second by Strunk. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Fleet maintenance, Frank.
ask permission to hire two. The first one being Steve Burdine.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Strunk, second by Wheeldon. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The next being Hayden Fox.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Turpin, second by Strunk. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Finance, Jessica.
I would like to ask the court to approve the budget transfers that I gave all of you a copy of.
These are just to balance out the budget, right?
Yes, sir.
For the end of the year budget. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ranshaw, second by Turpin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And I provided you with a copy of the budget amendment. I'm seeking approval on that as well.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ranshaw, second by Strunk. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And lastly, I am seeking approval on the bill list for this month.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ranshaw, second by Wheeldon. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. That brings us down to citizen comments. Any citizens here to speak?
My name is Wendy Durso, and I hope this is a place that I can express some concern. I presently stay in Dixie Bend Retreat in Burnside, Kentucky. You guys have the county has just done the main road going all the way down, how the bus does, all the way down to our shelter house. We have an area, approximately 2280 Dixie Bend Road, that you guys have been nice enough to erect 2 signs. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. So we've taken our taxpayers' money. These people are taking the signs down. The sign says, and I have pictures here of, the sign says that it's pretty much, it's a county sign that says, I can't remember what it says. It says something about it, within 3 feet, it will be towed at owner's expense. These pieces of equipment are on a county road. They're cars, they're backhoes. They just blacktopped over his backhoe front end because he wouldn't move it. And when you come down, bus 200 comes down there every day to Shelter House 1 to take children. This is in an S-curve. It's not a, I don't know if I should share these with anybody. Would you like to see these pictures? If you would, I have them. I just don't understand why we're erecting these signs. The signs get taken down, we put them back up again. And how long does it take to enforce them? I mean, I don't know. I mean, do we enforce them? Is it 60? I guess I've talked to Deanna at the roads, and she's fielded very many calls. This has been going on for over a decade. It's really unsafe. There's no running water. There's no heat or no electric. If something was to happen, the diesel fuel smell is incredible. He dumps it onto the road. So I guess I'm just kind of reaching out to ask for help, because I know that the county knows something about this, because they're actually erecting signs on the property on the other side of the road going in and coming out, and then they disappear. And then another person is coming in with the money that we have to erect the signs and the employees' time to do it, and they take them down. So they don't care. And what's going to happen is somebody's going to get hurt on this, on the equipment coming around there, whether they're in a car or a school bus or whatever. The school bus is nowhere on there, on the report that the school bus goes all the way down that road. They thought it just stopped at the top of the hill. I don't live there full-time, but I'm concerned about safety, whether it's people who are coming in to do work there, whether it's children on a school bus, whatever it might be. And I thought maybe this would be a time to bring it here to say, you know, help, or where do I go to get help? Because they're erecting the signs and doing things, but they're just not. You have something to say, Mike?
Yes. Morning. My name is Mike Haft. I live on Walker Drive. And I find it incredibly insane that we pay Henkel to pave that road, which they did a nice job, and they can't pave around, they gotta pave around the backhoe that these derelicts leave out there. And Mike Strunk's been notified about it, I know, and the sheriff's been notified about it, I know, because I've done it. And nobody seems to give a damn. Pardon my French, but it's a fact, because we pay.
Well, we do give a damn, and I've put them signs up there, and that's what I've heard through the sheriff's department, that they had to have signs there to get towed. I've even sent a rollback down there to move them myself, but he won't move them unless the sheriff gives permission or something, and I can't make that call.
Well, what's the holdup? You guys aren't talking to each other?
Well,
Point to me, I'll address the board. You may said you talked to me. I get 15,000 phone calls a year. I don't remember talking to you at all.
It was in person, brother, in your office.
Like I said, people come and talk to me all the
I
time.
got you.
This is news to me. So, I mean, this is something I'll look at. So, I'm just playing fair to you, with all the calls that we get every single day. But as far as moving other people's equipment on property, and I don't know, I haven't looked at it. I'm assuming that if you talked to me that day, I would have passed it along to my sergeant lieutenant, unless they come back to me with a problem, and I wouldn't know anything about it.
Okay, well, now you do, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And we just need somebody to take care of this.
Yeah.
And then my other issue is, we've got people living back in there in campers, and they're dumping their sewage on the ground. And I don't know what kind of environmental program we have in Pulaski County, but I don't think that's a good thing.
that'd be the health
That'd be the
department.
health department.
You'd have to call the health department over there.
Because it's raw human.
Health department takes care of all that.
Just real quick before I sit down, I want to say, to let the public know that if somebody comes in and talks to me, and I pass that information along, unless they come back to me, instead of bringing it to the forum, come back to me and say, hey, it's not been done. Address me again and say, it's nothing
Well,
done.
you know-
Because I don't know. This is a huge county. This is the
I
first
know.
time hearing about it. The first time I hear about it.
You and I have spoke, our treasurer came, Jen and I, we showed up at your office and spoke.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't remember. I don't
Okay.
remember seeing it.
Okay,
No,
anyway, we talked to you about the people that were dealing drugs in there. And they're still dealing drugs, and that's been over a year ago. And I see on Facebook and different news leads that you always put in there, if you see anything with drugs or whatever, call me. We notified you, hell, in person. We showed you pictures of the cars driving up and down the road, and they're still doing it.
Just to let you know, we've had a record-breaking year. I'll bring the documentation to fiscal court if you want to see it. Record-breaking year. Yesterday, they got huge amounts of drugs. We got 3 guys doing drugs, which is more than we've ever had in Pulaski County that I know of. We're breaking drugs. But unfortunately, if you think that I or any sheriff is going to cure the drug problem in Pulaski
I
County.
don't at all.
But on that, what I'll do is I'll take your information, I'll pass it along to my narcotics guys, and they'll look into it. You know, if you personally know of who's doing it and want to pass that information along, then we'll pass that information along. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bobby.
And I appreciate your input about the sewage and stuff like that. The health department?
Health department.
Okay. You'll see how reactive
Kind
they
of
are.
help we can get, and thank you for your time.
Yes.
Health department takes care of all that.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Okay, thank you.
I've got one matter I need to bring up, and I'd like to get the court's approval on it. It's regarding the opioid litigation that we've been involved in, since about 2019, 2018. And over that time, there's been billions and billions of dollars recovered, and it's complicated. And me and a couple of other county attorneys are kind of on the steering committee for Kentucky to deal with all of that with our attorneys. And who are down in Florida, but it's something called MDL, multi-district litigation. So the cases have been basically run from a federal judge up in Ohio, Northern District of Ohio, has kind of managed all these cases across the country. And everything's gone really well. We've gotten huge settlements from distributors and pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens. Now we're in a situation where the next settlement that was being discussed and negotiated was with Kroger. We've got a lot of Kroger stores in Kentucky, obviously. And without going into all the details, because there's too many of them, but our new Attorney General has filed a lawsuit in state court in Bullitt County against Kroger, seeking basically the same thing that we seek in federal court, the damages, with regard to opioid use and addiction. As best we can tell, and there's been discussions with his staff, they filed that because they felt like the settlement offer that was being offered in the Kroger litigation in our cases, and there's about our attorneys and another firm have about 90 of the counties in the state. So we've got the vast majority of the counties. But the Attorney General, for some reason, felt like that the amount that we were going to get from the Kroger settlement wasn't enough. So he filed this case in Bullitt County. And I can go into a whole lot of reasons why I personally and most of my colleagues don't think that's a good idea, but the main reason is it really skews future settlements, because what these people, what the businesses are looking for, like any of us would be looking for, is they want a one and done. They want it over with. They want to settle with everybody, and that's what we've been able to do so far with all of the other pharmacies and distributors. But the fact that this suit has been filed in state court now puts all that at risk, because Kroger's they're not going to come in and settle with us in federal court, obviously, and get, because they can't get a release from Kentucky. There's been the law firm that's representing the Attorney General has tried this in about 3 or 4 other states, and they've been unsuccessful. So what we have done, our law firm has drafted a letter to send to the Attorney General, and basically setting out why we think this is a bad idea. He's relying on the fact he thinks that the settlement is not enough money, and maybe he can get more. But we set out in the letter how all these other settlements have gone, how we've gotten overcompensated in some of these other settlements based on the number of entities in our state. At any rate, I would like to get the court's permission for us to sign off on the letter to the Attorney General, along with all the other counties that believe this is a bad idea. And we're trying to set up a meeting with him. We've talked to his people, but have had a hard time getting together with him. And this is very time sensitive, because there's all these weird rules about Kroger can do this and do that, and we have to do this and do that. And I know that's kind of vague, but anyway, in my humble legal opinion, we should continue down the path we've been going down and work toward these global settlements. They've been very fruitful for our municipalities and our counties. CAECO's in favor of it. So I'd like to get your all's a vote, I guess, about having a record where you all approve us signing off on this letter to the Attorney General. And it's not a demand letter or anything. It's just saying, here's what we've done so far. Here's how successful it's been. and we think, we would ask that you back off on your local case and allow us to negotiate this global settlement with Kroger.
Yeah. I make a motion.
Motion by Strunk, second by Wheeling. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you for all you've done on this. I know you put a lot of work in it.
Is any more citizens want to speak? Not seeing none, need a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Motion by Strunk,
Second.
second by Ranshaw. All in favor?
Aye.
We go to Floyd.